morning students. Today we are going to discuss Earth's gravitational force. Let us rewind and try to remember some games when we are playing. What the things we notice? When we are throwing a ball in upward direction, what happens? If you will take any stone and you will throw it in the upward direction, when you will throw the stone in upward direction, what will happen? What will happen? Right. It will go in upward direction. As your hand will apply muscular force, this ball which is at the rest, at this state, its velocity is 0. When you will throw it, your muscular force will be applied on it. And on this ball, the two forces are acting. One force is muscular force applied by your hand, which initiate its a movement, means its velocity start to increase. From the 0 velocity, it start to move upward. Simultaneously, on the same upgoing ball or upgoing stone, one more force is acting, and that is nothing but the Earth's gravitational force. Earth is applying force on every object and pulling it towards its center, and that is nothing but the gravitational force of Earth. And this gravitational force of Earth keeps on pulling this upward moving ball down. As a result of this, the velocity of this ball becomes 0 at a certain height, and the point at which its velocity becomes 0, it starts to fall downwards, back. And this downfall is due to the gravitational force of Earth. It is nothing but the effect of Earth's gravitational force. So in this topic, we are going to discuss many questions and their reliable answers, which are explaining gravitational force exerted by Earth. We know that we all are living on Earth, and our Earth has a pull of attraction, and this pull of attraction is attracting everything towards its center, which is nothing but the center of mass of the Earth, which is located at the center of Earth. And that is why anything, when we are throwing in upward direction from the Earth's surface, this pull brings it down. Whether you will throw the ball in upward direction, or you throw stone in upward direction, or you throw anything. If you will take any ball, you will raise it at certain height and you will roll it. What will happen? It will fall down. Everything falls in the downward direction. So let us discuss here. In your textbook they have given one simple example. A stone, it is thrown in upward direction. Then what will happen? When a stone is thrown in upward direction, what will happen? What will happen to the stone when it is thrown in upward direction? Nothing but it will go up in upward direction. It will start to move. A stone will start to move in the upward direction. Now the second question arises here. Will its velocity remain same? When this ball was down on Earth, at that time its initial velocity was 0, right? then it started to raise. But this rising velocity, due to the continuous gravitational force, started to reduce and reduce and reduce, and at the certain extent, up to the certain height, this velocity became zero. It got reduced and reduced and it became zero. At the spot when this velocity became zero, it started to fall in the downward direction. Here we get our answer of the second question. Will its velocity change or remain same? Then we have to say that velocity of thrown stone changes continuously. It changes continuously. Now the third question related to the same point. How it will change? Initially it is zero. It will increase due to the pull of gravitation. It will reduce. This velocity will reduce. It will reduce, and it will reduce and will become zero. So the question number 3, which is given in your textbook, the simple answer, it will reduce continuously. It will reduce continuously and it will become zero at a certain point. So we will write it will reduce at certain height and will become zero. Now the next question. Why doesn't the stone move up all the time? Why at certain height only it moves? Why it is not moving continuously up? Reason is the force of attraction which is given by the earth. It is due to the force of attraction by earth, and this force we are knowing well as a gravitational force. So it is due to earth's gravitational force. Next question. Why does it fall after some time, after reaching at certain height? Again the same answer. It is due to Earth's gravitational force. And lastly, what does its height depends on? On what its height depends? How much height it will move? Now again here it is depending on the force which is applied when it was thrown. Is this clear? So let us take a revision from textbook. In the textbook on page number 7, the questions are given with respect to this small experiment, and down to it the answers are also given to well understand the concept of gravitational force of Earth. Let's read it and revise the topic. Earth's gravitational force. Will the velocity of the stone which is thrown in upward direction remain constant, or it will change? How it will change? If it is changing, how it will change? Why does the stone move all the times in upward? Why the stone is moving in upward direction and then it is coming down? Why doesn't it is not moving continuously up? Up to certain height only it is going, and later on it comes down. Why this is happening? Why does it fall down after reaching certain height? does its maximum height depends on? All our these questions will be answered by the paragraph which is given down. The earth attracts every object near it, towards it, and this point of attraction is located at the center of mass of the earth, which we are knowing as earth geographical center. So because of gravitational force, the center of mass of the earth where this gravitational force is situated, located, at that point earth is pulling every object up on its surface and up to certain height on the over the earth. So the gravitational force on any object is due to earth, and it is always directed toward the center of the earth, and this is only the reason everything which we are throwing up comes down. Everything which we are throwing up from the surface of the earth, it falls down in the direction of the center of the earth. Because of this force, object falls vertically downward on the earth. Similarly, when we throw stone vertically upward, this force tries to pull it down and reduces the velocity. We have discussed already, velocity is changing and it gets reduced. Up to certain height it becomes 0, and then we can see the falling of the ball. The pull continues to be exerted and the stone starts moving vertically downward toward the center of the earth, which influences the velocity of the stone. Is this clear? Let us read the text one more time and we will move to the solved examples which are based on the same topic. So dear students, let us discuss solved examples given on the textbook page number 7. Here we have to take an account of the example which is given on the textbook page number 6, question number 1 and question number 2. With the same respect, we are going to discuss this next example. In this question, it is given, calculate the gravitational force due to the earth on Mahendra with respect to earlier examples. So let us consider Mahendra and Virat are sitting on a bench over here on the earth surface. The bench is on the surface of the earth. Obviously, as Mahendra and Virat both are applying force on each other, the same way the one more force is exerted on them by the earth, and that is nothing but earth's gravitational force which is applied on Mahendra. So here we have to calculate the same force, that is earth's gravitational force on Mahendra. How much it is, right? So for that we require the quantities. First, mass of earth. Here mass of earth we will consider as m1. So this is the constant quantity. Its value is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kilogram. Just remember this value. Mass of earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kilogram. The second quantity, mass of Mahendra. Do you remember what it was? Yes, it is 75 kilograms. The next is radius of earth. As earth is pulling Mahendra toward it, the distance between Mahendra and earth we will consider as radius of the earth. Again, this is the constant value and it is nothing but 6.4 into radius of earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meters. And in that example we calculated your universal gravitational constant Value of universal gravitational constant is 6.67 into 10 to the power negative 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square, and finding out the value, that is gravitational force due to the earth on Mahendra, we will calculate by using force law. So what is the force law? Force is equal to universal gravitational constant into product of masses of both the objects. Here one of the object is earth and the other object is Mahendra, divided by square of their radius, that is r square. Let us substitute all the values. So F is equal to G 6.67 into 10 to the power negative 11 m1, that is the mass of earth, 6 into 10 to the power 24 kilogram into m2, that is mass of Mahendra, 75, divided by radius of the earth, that is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6, and r square means square of this whole quantity. So note this, we will go for calculation of this in the next step. So I am going to remember one more thing. Whatever the calculation we will get at the end of whatever the value we will get, if you will compare that force between earth and Mahendra and the force which we have calculated in the question number 1 of page number 6, then you will understand that in the comparison of this both force exerted by earth and force exerted between earth and Mahendra and force between Mahendra and Virat. So which force is greater? Obviously force exerted by earth is greater, and if you will compare their value, it is 1.83 into 10 to the power 6 times greater. This force exerted by earth on Mahendra is 1.83 into 10 to the power 6 times greater with the comparison of Mahendra and Virat, force between Mahendra and Virat. So this is very much important fact which is given in the textbook. It may ask in multiple choice question of your board exam. So remember this value also. Let us move toward the calculation. I am dropping this one. We will continue with the question number 1's answer. We reach up to, by using force is equal to G m1 into m2 upon r square. We substituted the values. It was 6.67 into 10 to the power negative 11 into 6 into 10 to the power 24 into 75 upon 6.4 into 10 to the power 6, and it's a square. Let's move to the calculation. So force is equal to, all the values we will write together, 6.67 into 6 into 75 into 10 to the power negative 11. Again, now here bases are same, we will add their indices upon 6.4 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 6, and it's a power 2. By the power law, mathematically by using power law, base is same and powers power means we will multiply the powers. 6 2s. So 75 into 6. 6.67 into 75 into 6. 450 into this 10 to the power 30 upon 6.4 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 12. Now in the next step, this we will take up, this positive power will become negative power. This is 30. 10 to the power 30. Right. So in the next step, 10 to the power 30 minus 12. And one more thing we will do, this decimal numbers we will convert as a whole numbers. So the next step, therefore, force is equal to 667 upon 100. Instead of writing 6.67, I have written here 667 upon 100 multiplied by 450 upon 1 into 1 upon 64 into 64 upon 10 into 10. Here I have removed this decimal point. As a result, it will become 64 into 64 upon 10 into 10. Next, 10 to the power 13 minus 12. Next step. This is the calculation. You can go for this calculation in the way which you feel easy. Here for explanation, I am just simplifying it in the detailed way. You must have to learn and practice calculation in the better way, so that it will be easy and scoring for you. Remember this, all the solved examples are very important for your exam. Upon 1 into, now here this 10 into 10 100, and if you will transpose this is divide by, it will become multiplied by, so it will go in the numerator, and upon 64 into 64 multiplied by 10 to the power 1. Now see, force is equal to 667, this 100 cancel, 450 multiplied by 10 means 4500 upon 64 into 64. Let us go for division. This is divisible by 2. 2 3s are 2, 2s are 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 1 carry, 5, 2 5s are 10, and this 0 as again it is divisible by 2. 2 1s are 2, 2 6s are 12. So here it is 16. Again this is also divisible by 2. 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, carry 1, 2 5s are 10. Right? Let's write it in the next step. 667 into 1125 upon 64 into 16. Let us note down. We will write down in the next step. I'll clean the blackboard and we will continue with the step over here. So we will continue with this step here. Force is equal to 667 multiplied by 1125 upon 64 into 16. We will divide 1125 by 60. So first 3 digits 112. 16 sevens are 112. 0. Take 5 down. It is not divisible. 0. 5 will remain as it is. Since we have taken 0, now we will take 0 to the decimal point. 16 threes are 48. 2 remain. Take 0. 16 ones are 16. 4 remain. Take 0. 12. 38. And it will go on. We will take up to only first 3 digits. So, therefore, force is equal to 667 multiplied by this. 16 ones are 16 and this is 70.312. I have gone with here multiplication. 667 multiplied by 70.31 upon 64. So it is 46,896.77 upon 64. And further dividing on it, we will get 732.762. On rounding it off, force is equal to 732 point. This 2 will get removed. This is greater than 5, 1 will add here. It will become 8. Again, for rounding it off, force is equal to, this is greater than 5. So we will add 1 here. So it will become approximately this value we will consider in the whole number. Approximately force between Earth and Mahendra is, this will get round off and 2 will become 3. 733 newtons. Is it clear? Calculation according to your convenient way you can go for. Now, here in your textbook, in the second example, further they have continued with the respect of your first example. We will discuss the second question also. Dear students, I hope first question is clear for you. You understand all the concepts from the first question. Let us move to the second question. Now in the second question it is said, suppose, again the same concept we will take and with respect to it we will move for understanding the next point. This is Earth, which has force of attraction on everything and it pulls everything toward its center with the force, and this force is called as force of gravitation. Right? Now we know this. Now here on the bench, suppose Mahendra is sitting. Right? Due to some reason, Mahendra falls down. Now, when Mahendra will fall down, where he will go? He will fly over? No. He will fall down on the earth. So Mahendra, when he fall from bench, he will fall down. Right? When he is on the bench, he is at the rest. So velocity of Mahendra is 0 meter per second. The Earth's gravitation is continuously attracting Mahendra. When he falls, due to this gravitational force, will start to move downward. He will start to move downward. As he will start to move downward, his velocity will change. It will not remain zero. As he will start to move, velocity will change. And we have to calculate this velocity, how much it is after 1 second of time. After the time of 1 second. Okay, this is the question given in your question number 2 of the solved exams. So first we will write down all the given things. So students, it is clear. Starting from the rest position, when Mahendra gets attracted with the pull of Earth's gravitation, he falls down. In the beginning, his initial velocity is 0. When he falls down, after 1 second, what will be his velocity? We have to calculate this velocity. And this velocity will change due to gravitation of the Earth. So, in this example, we have u as a initial velocity. At the beginning, Mahendra's initial velocity is 0 meter per second. The second quantity we know, that is mass of Mahendra, which is 75 kilogram. The next quantity which we need here is time. Time is after 1 second. And the next important quantity, which is nothing but what? Force, which we calculated in the example number 1. And this force we calculated in example number 1 as 733. Approximately we calculated 733 Newton. This is from example 1 of your textbook, page number 7. We calculated in the last example this value as a 733 newtons. So, how we will calculate here? First we will calculate Mahendra's acceleration, and by using Newton's first equation of motion, we will calculate velocity. Acceleration is equal to Mahendra's acceleration. During fall. Acceleration is equal to force upon mass. Force is 733 and mass is 75. Is it divisible? We'll divide with 5. 1 are 5, 5 are 75. 5 are 5. 5 4 are 20. 3. 5 6 are 30. Remain 6. Remain 3. Decimal point we will take. 5 6 are 30. So 146.6 divided by 50. Let us go for this division. 146.6 divided by 50. So 15 7 are 7, 15 9s are 135. 1. Decimal point is there, review decimal point, and we will take down. Right? Next, 15 7s are 105. 0 will take. Okay, 15 7s are 105. Remain 5, and it will go on. We will take only first 2 digits. So acceleration is equal to 9.77 meter per second square. Now we have to calculate velocity. So we have to use here Newton's first equation of motion. So note it down. We will go next for Newton's first equation of motion. We will continue with this value. Acceleration we have here. Acceleration is equal to 9.77 meter per second square. This value we can by Newton's first equation of motion. We have to calculate velocity. So v is equal to u plus a t. Let us substitute the values. V is equal to u is 0. Initial velocity is 0. Acceleration we calculated 9.77 into time is 1 second. So v is equal to 9.77 meter per second. Is the question number 2 clear? Us to think about, to use your brain for getting the answer from discussed topic. According to Newton's law of gravitation, we came on conclusion that Earth is exerting downward pull, which we are calling as gravitational force. This force is attracting the apple which is falling from the tree, right? By the Newton's law, what the Newton's law states? Newton's law states that if you will take the two objects, then both objects are having pull of attraction, force of attraction. Means when the apple on the tree is falling down due to the Earth's attraction, gravitational force which we are calling, the same time apple is also attracting Earth toward itself, right? When we throw this chalk up, the chalk is falling down, right? Means Earth is pulling chalk down. The same time chalk is also pulling to Earth. So what is the effect of pull of Earth? Apples fall down, chalk fallen down. Then why not Earth fallen on apple, right? Very common sense. If the two objects are having pull of attraction, then one object is attracting other, then one object is falling on other. Then why not the other object is falling on first one? Here, when apple is falling on Earth, why Earth is not falling on apple? The very simple thing. If from the example number 1 and 2, right now we have solved. Comparison if you will do between the two forces, the gravitational force of Earth and the gravitational force of apple, then which is greater, force of Earth or force applied by apple? Obviously force of Earth is greater. That's why apple will fall on Earth. This is the first thing. And the second important fact about this, that mass of Earth is very much greater as compared to mass of apple. Both these things are making difference. If here force of one object is greater, then that object will attract the less force object. Is this clear? Now, the thing comes, if you will see the two heavenly bodies, Earth and Moon, natural satellite of Earth, is always revolving around Earth. Earth is pulling Moon down, but Moon is also pulling, and Moon is also pulling Earth down. But why Moon is not falling on Earth? Now here both are enough bigger, both have the good force of attraction. then at least moon have to leave its place little bit. Why it is not falling? Then here you have to understand moon is not the resting object. Moon is always revolving. So when moon is revolving means moon has a continuous motion. It is moving with some velocity continuously. Right? And this velocity is not letting moon to fall on the earth. The velocity of moving moon is not allowing moon to fall on the earth. The same thing is beautifully given in your textbook under the heading use your brain power. Let us see. Use your brain power. According to Newton's law of gravitation, every object have force of attraction on the other object. Thus, if earth attracts an apple, then apple has to attract earth. But this is not taking place. Only apple is falling on earth. Earth is not falling on apple. Why this is? So, this is due to force with which apple gets attracted towards earth is very huge as compared to the force with which apple is attracting to the earth. The first thing. And the second thing, mass of earth as compared to apple is very huge. Right? The gravitational force due to earth also acts on the moon. Because of this gravitational force, moon is held around the earth and it is on the same place orbiting the earth. Similar situation exists in artificial satellites also, orbiting the earth, right? The moon and the artificial satellites orbit the earth attract them toward its center, but they both are not falling, they are not falling on earth. Why they do not fall? It is because of velocity of moving moon as well as moving artificial satellites or any satellites which are moving in orbit around any other heavenly body. And this velocity was, if this velocity would not be there, then that object will fall on the another object. So this velocity keeps the satellites on their position and that's why they are continuously revolving around. That's it for today. Keep on